Greedy people, you know what this segment's about.
It sounds like the pitter-patter of money.
Right. So let's talk about some wagers with Anita Marks.
She's a babe.
But she comes on this show because she's smart and knows a thing or two about placing bets.
In Latin, she would be called Babia Majora. If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Let's find out where the smart money's going this week with Anita Marks.
Anita Marks joins us from Daily Wager at 98.7 out of New York on ESPN. And how are you, Anita?
I'm great.
Right.
I bought a few pair of shoes after Game 1 of Denver and the Miami Heat. So yeah, I'm fantastic.
Well, what were the odds going into this of chances of the Heat winning this series, and how much has that changed just after Game 1?
Well, let's go back to winning the Boston Celtics series. The Brainiacs up there in Bristol, Connecticut, near you, gave the Heat only a 3% chance of beating the Boston Celtics in that series, which, by the way, I predicted that they would win in 7. Yes, I will toot my horn when it's deserving. But they have met their match with this Denver Nuggets team, that's for sure. So as we know, Game 1, Denver won 104-93. It got a little too close for comfort there at the end since you were laying the 8, 8.5, 9, depending when you put your bet down. Halftime spread was -5. They covered that big time, 59-44. And also I had the under at 219, which is really interesting because the odds makers now have adjusted. I want to say now that's dropped to 215 or 214.5.
Wow. What are some other props, like, just because if you want to go bet today, gosh, unless you really are feeling the Miami Heat, you could be making some money. But for the most part, there's a lot of heavy favorites. But prop-wise, what's still like an interesting play if you haven't gotten involved at all yet with the NBA Finals?
So, very interesting, right? Like, coming into this, I felt like series-wise, Denver in 5. Like, listen, this team, we know how good they are. You can't beat them. You can't. They're 9-0 at home. They're beating teams by 12 points. So I thought for sure they're going to go up 2-0. Then they'd steal one in Miami and then come back and win in Game 5. But guys, this is a Denver Nuggets team that only shot 29% from behind the arc. They were 8 of 27, and they still won and covered. No way do they have that type of three-point performance in Game 2. On top of that, the Heat shot 33%. They were 13 of 39. Denver has allowed fewer than 10 three-pointers per game, and they've allowed the third fewest threes in the regular season. So looking at the score, I expect regression with the Miami Heat, and Denver shooting a lot better from behind the arc. And they just don't have an answer for Jokic. They just don't. I mean, nobody, like, as great as Bam was, 26 points, 13 rebounds, they just don't have the size. They don't have the size. They don't have the strength. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, how much gas do they still have left in this tank? They didn't even go back to Miami.
Right.
They went straight from Boston to Denver. Which, I understand you want to get used to the altitude up there and the thin air, but man, these guys haven't had home cooking. They haven't slept in their own bed. They haven't pet their dogs in a while now. So I don't know. Dare I say sweep? You can get it at 3-1.
What about the Nuggets against the spread and straight up? How have they been in the postseason?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, how have they been doing? Have you been taking the Nuggets most of the postseason?
Yes. I really what's delivered is Jokic, triple doubles. I mean, even against AD, and there was that one game where, of course, the Lakers kind of turned the tide and double teamed Jokic with Hachimura. But then, he started dishing out. Now, he had 12 assists. That no center in the history of the NBA has ever had 12 assists in a finals game. He's just unbelievable. So to me, that's really what's delivered here is Jokic triple double. And I think him and this coaching staff, I think they're doing this. I think this is purpose. This is purpose. Like, I think he got absolutely screwed by not getting the MVP this year.
So do we.
Oh, so do we. Well, that's what I was scratching at. Listen, after they beat and swept the Lakers, got no love nationally. Everybody, well, the Lakers lost. No, they didn't. They got smoked by the Denver Nuggets. This guy's a triple-double machine. So that's where I was going. They don't get a lot of love, but they've dominated everybody.
Well, absolutely, and I think this is a coaching staff and a team that's like, okay, how many triple doubles can we like? If you watched Game 1, he was one rebound away from getting a triple double, and they were up by at some point I think they were up by 17 points, and then the Heat went off on a 7-0 run.
Right.
And he was on the bench, and I was like, "Oh, come back in, get that triple." Sure enough, they brought him back in. He got the rebound. Woo! Another triple double. Yeah, wipe that sweat off my brow. So, I think this is a coaching staff, and this is a team who's committed to helping him get the triple double. Just to say to those voters in the NBA who did not give him the MVP this year.
What about those players around him? We know you're a big Jamal Murray fan. Aaron Gordon had a really good first half last night. Any value in playing those guys in the rest of these finals?
Yeah, so really interesting in looking at what happened in Game 1. Michael Porter Jr. to me is an unbelievable mismatch right now. He's 6'11", and you've got Caleb Martin, you've got Duncan Robinson, you got Struss, who's I don't know what. I don't think any of them are over 6'5". So you got a bunch of 6'5" dudes who's trying to contain and guard a 6'11". Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, good luck with that. He took 11 shots behind the arc and only hit 2 last night. I don't see that happening. Also, he's just a rebounding monster. He had 13 rebounds. So Michael Porter Jr. over rebounds and points in Game 2. I also like over 2.5 3-pointers in Game 2. And another thing that was really interesting, we give Eric Spoelstra a lot of credit as being one of the best coaches in the NBA, and rightfully so. You got to work with the horses you have in your stable. And again, they just don't have a lot of size. There's mismatches all over the court. And what they did is they came in and they said, Aaron Gordon, with all due respect, is the weak link on this team. So if Aaron Gordon's going to beat us, well then, well, damn. So Aaron Gordon put up 12 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Because it's hard with this Denver team. And so, I think they do the same thing in Game 2. So I'm going over 13.5 points for Aaron Gordon in Game 2.
Talking to Anita Marks from Daily Wager, handicapper, also great golfer, all that kind of stuff. Let me ask you about Frank Vogel. He's now the Phoenix Suns head coach. How about $78 million for Monty Williams? Who saw that coming in Detroit? These guys, we just keep recycling these coaches.
Yeah, but it's the same in the NFL too. It's the good old boys club, and it's unfortunate. So, not giving some young, fresh talent an opportunity. I know that Boston Celtics head coach, Joe
Mazzulla.
There you go. Listen, everybody was like, "Oh, he's met his match. He's not going to." Look how well he coached that Boston. And you could say, well, Anita, look at the talent he was working with. Yeah, you're right. But, sometimes you've got to get, some of these young, backup coaches some opportunities, and they could surprise you, especially generational swing. I think that's happening. Again, not just in the NBA, but in all of sport, where I think a lot of these players can associate better with some of the young guys, but they're just not getting the chance, guys. They're just not getting the chance.
I wanted to pick your brain about DeAndre Hopkins. I know you hang out in the sports books, but sometimes you pick the brains of general managers and some other sources in the NFL. Giants, DeAndre Hopkins, what are the chances of that happening?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm hearing Cleveland, guys.
So for him
to reunite with Deshaun Watson. They're going to have to move some money around, but they do have the wiggle room to do it. I know that Adam Schefter on his podcast, he's leaning towards Kansas City. How frightening would that be?
Yeah.
Gibbs
and I
know
just
that-
looked at each other.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know that DeAndre Hopkins came out on some podcast and he was asked, like, who are the top 5 quarterbacks that you would most want to play with? And the number one choice he said was Josh Allen. I just don't know if the Bills have the wiggle room cap-wise to do it. And also the Patriots. Listen, the Patriots, their name has been thrown out there too, guys. So, for some reason, my gut's telling me Cleveland.
Aaron Rodgers, Jets, over under 7 wins this year.
Oh, 7?
What is the line? It's got to be like 10, right?
I
10
think
and a half.
it's 9.5.
9.5. Where are you leaning?
If you're telling me 7, I'm on the over all day with that.
All right,
But
over
you're
under
tell-
9.5.
But
about nine?
if you're telling me 9.5, I'm going to go under. Number one, they play in a very competitive division. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Patriots. I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to win the division, but it is Bill Belichick. And he did finally go out and hire an offensive coordinator to help Mac Jones, for gosh sakes. So there's that. I don't think the Patriots are going to roll over and die. So I think they're going to be competitive if Tua can stay healthy. And I know it's a big if in bold letters. Miami, on paper, has arguably one of the most talented rosters, and their head coach has become a superstar. And then, of course, you've got the Buffalo Bills, who I think win the division. So I don't think that's going to be easy sledding in the AFC East. And then I'm really worried about their offensive line, guys. Their tackles, you got Mekhi Becton, who lost like a gazillion pounds, but doesn't want to play right tackle. But that's where he's slated right now. And then you've got Dwayne Brown, who's been in the NFL like longer than, I don't know, dirt.
Come on.
I mean, listen, they wanted Broderick Jones, right? At least that's what I was told. And the Patriots opened the door and allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers to jump ahead of the Patriots and grab Broderick Jones. So the Jets missed out on a tackle. They ended up taking Tippmann, who's a center but can play guard. But who are the bookends? And with all due respect to Aaron Rodgers, he pulled his calf playing around with a medicine ball 2 weeks ago, and he's still not participating in OTAs. He's going to be 40. Like, we're only human, right? Like, we're not all Tom Brady and, we're Benjamin Button here. So I'm really worried about that offensive line.
I wanted to bring it up because he plays the Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles. That's the start of his season.
That's fun.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We missed you on Wednesday. We love having you on Wednesdays in the spring and the summer, and really Fridays for the football season, Wednesdays for the golf. Who'd you take for the Memorial? Right now we got Matsuyama and Sue knotted up at -7 at the top of the leaderboard. Lipsky, Cantlay, and McIlroy right behind. What were your picks before this thing started? What do you think of the Memorial so far going in first 2 days?
Yeah, so my pick to win this bad boy was Patrick Cantlay, and as you said, he's 6 under.
Yep.
He shot a 5 under today. Data Golf gives him a 28.3% chance of winning. Decky has a 14.5. Listen, he has this unbelievable relationship with Jack, and Jack, as we know, built this track. This is Jack's tournament, and so this is very special for Cantlay. He's made 6 of 6 cuts. He's won here twice. He plays well on this track. The metrics I looked at coming in: driving accuracy and greens in regulation. 4 of the last 6 winners finished these 4 rounds first in greens in regulation, and Cantlay's up there. So that's why I like Cantlay. So I like him right now. He's sitting at 6 under, great position. Obviously, he's going to make the cut. He's tied for 3rd, and he's got an opportunity to really make some noise the next 2 days. Some other guys that I liked, I'm looking down at the board. Hatton, I liked him as well to finish in the top 20. So he's sitting at tied for 6. He's 2 under. So that bodes well for me. Ricky Fowler, I have him finishing in the top 20.
You
He's tied
love
for
Ricky Fowler. Wow, still going.
Listen to you guys. Yeah, all I do is wear orange, and my pickleball racket is orange because of Ricky Fowler. So he's 2 under through 14, so he still can make some noise. He's at 2 under right now. He still has a few 4 holes to play. And I think I liked Thigala. Thigala looks like he's going to make the cut. He's +2. That's where the cut line is. So he's tied for 52nd. I have Thigala finishing in the top 40. So,
Ben loves Sahith. Yeah.
Hopefully, he's been all over the place, man. He's like, look at he went on from hole 10 to 15. He put up 4 birdies, but then from hole 1 to hole 4, he had 3 bogeys. Dude's been all over he's been all over the place. So I don't know. Maybe he gets a good night's sleep, comes in Saturday and Sunday, makes some noise, and gets into the top 40, and will do me right. We'll see. But to answer your question, I had Cantlay winning this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, Anita. As always, thank you so much on short notice. We love you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Anita.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. That's right. Wait, Anita? She gone?
Couldn't catch her.
This is the first time she has ever said anything
about the Panthers.
About the Florida Panthers. They're in the Stanley Cup, of course.
You go. She's from Florida. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we got barbecue tickets to give away.
That's right.
We got more Hartford Athletic tickets to give away. Hopefully people boned up on their regional baseball stuff. We'll do that next on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive.